next ones, but we were catching we caught everything lived in the lake. And I taught my young friend that was with us how to clean pike and with his electric flair. So once he figured that out, because you can keep the smaller ones and there's a way to get the backs off without any bones and get the tails off without any bones.
That's the one thing with pike, man. There's
Good, John.
tons of them.
Oh man, we had fish fry, brought bags home. It was great.
All right, it's 1:00. I'm going to call the June 16th Board of Commission meeting to order. Today, we're going to start out with the prayer by Commissioner Heberling, followed by the pledge by Commissioner Moody.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for this beautiful day. We thank you for the sunshine. Lord, we thank you for the opportunity that we live in a free country, that we can come and gather as commissioners and make decisions for our county. And Lord, as we go through the meetings, we just pray that you would guide and direct us to make the right decisions. And we give you the honor and the glory. In Jesus' name, amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. Leslie, roll call, please.
District 1 Chairman John Block.
Present.
District 2 Commissioner Roger Ballard.
Present.
District 3 Commissioner Gary Heberling.
Here.
District 4 Commissioner Bill Sartella.
Here.
District 5 Commissioner Christine Lee. Present. District 6 Commissioner Evans Ehart is absent. District 7 Commissioner John Moody.
Present.
Thank you, Leslie.
You're welcome.
Evans did reach out to me to let me know that he was going to be absent today, so everybody knows. If there are no additions or corrections to today's agenda, I will entertain a motion to adopt the agenda.
So
Support.
I have a motion by Commissioner Ballard, supported by Commissioner Lee, to adopt the agenda as presented. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Agenda is adopted. Next up is going to be our meeting minutes from June 2nd. If there are no corrections or deletions, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make that motion. Support.
I have a motion by Commissioner Heberling, supported by Commissioner Sartella, to approve our meeting minutes from June 2nd of 2026. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. You would have received your correspondence from Jody through email the other day. So we're going to move into commissioner reports, and we'll start with Commissioner Moody today.
I have Speaker Township. On June 9th, I had that last Tuesday. Their fire department report was they had runs in May, and they also hired 2 new firemen. Their zoning, they had 4 land splits. They had 4 land permits. 2 new houses, a garage and a porch. Their fire grant, their FEMA grant for their fire department is still pending. They're also writing a grant, paying a grant writer to write a new grant for a new fire truck. They decided to continue on with the PA 233 lawsuit. And they did a resolution to enter into contract with the county clerk regarding election publication. And that's it. I have Worth tomorrow night.
Okay, very good. Thank you, John. Delaware Township reached out to me. They had questions about those public safety funds. We had that information we had gotten from Sheriff. I know, Roger, you had said you would share that out in your community. I had a robust discussion with them. They come up with some ideas on how to utilize it. Outside of that, I don't know if everybody got this in your packet. We received a letter from Rev Renewables, and they intend to build a solar project in Fremont Township. And per Public Act 233, if they're going to do that and follow that process, they also have to reach out to us in the county. So they have done that. And Nathan is going to reach out to them and try to schedule an opportunity for us to meet with them potentially next week. If that meeting does happen, I'll report to the whole board on how it all went. That's all I have. Christine?
I had a meeting at Brown City, and it had an individual came in that wants to put a daycare center in town in the residential area. They approved their master plan. They're looking at somebody to do their ordinance review and rewrite them. They ordered some valves for the arsenic treatment plant, and they had somebody do well number 3. And they said it was going to take 5 to 7 days. They end up taking 5 weeks to do it. So they got to do well number 4. And so they're looking for somebody. And they had a closed session for the city manager's evaluation. And we had our festival this weekend and Leslie participated in the 5K.
I did.
Yes, and she finished.
I sure did.
Yes.
Very good.
Not last.
Nope, she wasn't last. And at the festival, I had a lot of different people come up to me and was saying how great the new emergency manager is doing. So hats off to Greg on his position. And that's it.
Very good. Thank you, Christine. Bill?
Just Port Sanilac, they approved their budget and amended their fee schedule and approved some stuff in regards to their Blues Fest and their Summer Fest as well. And had some discussion on the sidewalk. I know the Summer Fest, one of the big things is they're bringing the beer tent back, which a lot of folks locally know as the reunion tent. Yeah, I'm glad to report that everything above the bridge in the UP is in good shape.
Excellent.
That's all I have.
Thank you, Bill. Gary?
I attended Watertown Township meeting since our last meeting, and it was reported by the assessor that they do not have their solar certificate yet in hand. There was a report on the sewer and the water. They're putting new meters in south into Sandusky as part of Watertown Township. And some of the comments where they can't get into some of the homes, some of the meters not reporting. So those will probably be added to the taxes, and they're going to start getting hold of some of the landowners or homeowners because they work during the day, and they're trying to get that scheduled for evening. Custer Township didn't have a meeting this month. They have theirs every other month. Their next meeting is July 13th, and I did not attend Sandusky City Council last night because they have 2 meetings a week. I went the first week, and Custer Township and Moore Township, I sent them my monthly report. End of my report.
Thank you, Gary. Roger?
Last Tuesday, I attended Marlette Township's meeting. They approved some repairs at the hall, furnace and sidewalk repairs. The interlocal agreement between the township and Marlette regarding the park has been tabled to the July meeting. They discussed some blight, gave updates on road projects. And they're working with kind of the young ladies wanting to open a dog grooming business at her home. So she's got a lot of steps to get through, but she's willing to go through and do the work. So wish her all the luck. City of Marlette, the pool is scheduled to open Friday, finally. On the 8th, I attended Argyle's meeting. They approved their MTA membership. Discussed some improvements at the township park grounds and also a AED grant for the township hall. They are looking into mapping their cemetery and also talked about some blight issues. I was at Lamont Township last night. They had a very light agenda. They approved bills and approved adding some signage out front that will put contact information for hall rentals so they can get some more interest in renting the hall. And I have a question for Bill. Are they working on the asphalt on the bridge or not yet? Reason I ask is my wife and I are going to be crossing it in July. She does not like riding the grate on a motorcycle.
Well, we crossed on a weekend, so nobody's working. All the bridge vehicles were parked.
No, they were going through the week.
The painting looked good. I didn't look at the
I
road.
can't get her to look down through the grate when we're riding across there. Look at the ships from the top and all I get is helmet in my back and little signal. That's all I have.
Thank you, Roger. Appreciate everyone's commissioner reports. Nathan, your administrator report, please.
Yes, thank you. So I had mentioned to you guys an email last week, flooring would be taking place at the health department this week. It began today. So that project is off the ground and moving forward, which is good. Second thing, budgets are in. So now begins the process of working to kind of get a balanced budget for the county. So we'll be going through that, and I'll keep you guys informed as we work through that and work with Christy Bender, our finance director. So health insurance renewal is complete, and we had our health fair last week, and that was well received by those that attended. So I think that was again a positive thing for the county to host the health fair for employees. And to follow up on something from last meeting, I know Commissioner Sarkella talked about the public access to the beach from the roadways. I called and didn't get an answer back from the lady through Eagles, so I have subsequently sent an email hoping that maybe that's a better means of communication. As soon as I hear something, I will let you guys know, but shortly after we talked about that in the meeting, I got a letter from MCOG, the Eastern Michigan Council of Governments, saying that there was 3 grants awarded. And at that point, I emailed Commissioner Sarkella and said, I wonder if this means that we kind of missed our window, but I'll find out, so.
Yeah, and if we did miss a window, maybe there's another one at some point we can catch, and because it's still a good idea.
Yeah. Great.
One of the grants I will say was the North Park in Port Sanilac.
Okay.
It's kind of the hidden gem down the side road at the end of town.
Is that? It's on the north side of town, you turn right by the church there?
Mhm.
That is it, I need to check that out, because I've seen the sign for it, but I didn't know that was even there.
Yeah, so that's been, I don't know what kind of upgrades they're gonna do, but I'm sure they'll refurbish that completely.
Yeah,
So at least something's coming to the town.
absolutely, very good.
Yeah, and that's all I have.
Okay, does anybody have any questions for Nathan? Seeing none, then move on. Thank you, Nathan. Appreciate your report. At this time, I'm going to call for public comments pertaining to the agenda. Are there any public comments pertaining to the agenda today?
I'll speak to my appointments on the library board, but do I wait on?
Yeah, we'll call you up for an interview here shortly.
Thank you.
Okay, seeing no public comments to the agenda, we'll move on. Next up is a presentation from the Michigan Tri-Share Program. We have Riley Alley, Thumb Tri-Share Hub Coordinator. I believe we have her on Zoom. Riley, can you hear us?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yep. Hello, how are you today?
Hi, good. Thank you so much for having me today. I am going to share my screen. I just have a few slides to share. I won't take up a ton of your time. I know that you guys are busy. But I am here to talk about Tri-Share. And so I'm the Tri-Share coordinator for the Thumb region. I am housed at St. Clair County RESA, but I do service the entire Thumb plus Genesee and Shiloh. So Tri-Share, for anybody who is not aware or has not heard of this yet, it's an innovative approach to really support families and employers and employees on the cost of childcare and the sheer challenges we have. I know I heard that one of you reported that somebody is trying to open a new childcare, which is wonderful because we need more childcares available for families. Childcare is one of those businesses that support our economic growth. It's what supports our families to be able to work, is them counting on childcare. It's a costly piece of a family's budget, and so that's where Tri-Share comes in, as looking at how can we split that cost between the employer, the employee, and now the state of Michigan through Tri-Share. It started in 2021 as a pilot project, but now is across the state of Michigan. It's available to everybody that wants to participate. So when we look at the Thumb region, right now we heavily have employers in St. Clair County and Genesee County, because during the pilot, that is where the hubs landed. We were just serving St. Clair County up until a couple of years ago when we expanded to the entire Thumb region. So Huron County has added one employer and Lapeer County has one employer. We don't have anybody in Sanilac County yet, but we're hoping that will change as we get the word out. I share this information, I answer questions, and hopefully somebody will see this as a benefit that they need to bring to their employment. So essentially, Tri-Share is really supporting not just retention of employees, but also the recruitment of new employees. I've been able to sign on some employers who don't have anybody who is eligible or has children or needs it, but they wanted to be prepared and ready so that they could put it on their job postings and hopefully hire somebody and list this as a benefit that they offer. It works well for small, medium, large employers. It really looks at the turnover costs, or what it costs to hire new employees, is anywhere between $4,000 and $10,000, depending on the size, depending on the position, depending on how long that position goes unfilled. When we look at the cost of Tri-Share, and I'm going to talk about this a little bit, In our region, the average cost of childcare on the higher end is anywhere from $10,000 to $11,000 a year for one child. So when we split that cost 3 ways, you're looking at just over $3,000, $3,000 to $4,000 for you to cover that benefit for the year. And sometimes that's the cost of this turnover. So if we can retain those employees with just supporting them with the childcare costs, you can see that benefit to both the employer and the employee. So when we look at TriShare, there is eligibility criteria. So not every employee is going to be eligible. We're looking at families who have children 0 to 17. Most of the time it's 0 to 12. After 12, typically children are not in childcare anymore. They do have to fall between the 200 and 400% of poverty. This is because under 200%, the state of Michigan will pay the full child care costs. And then over 400%, we wanted to kind of find those families who are really stuck and struggling right there in that middle area. They must attend licensed childcare, so it can be a childcare home, or it can be a childcare center or a summer camp that is licensed. It can't just be a neighbor, family, friend type of a childcare situation. We work with the employers. If this is something that maybe somebody is interested in, we work with those employers to talk about budget, talk about those eligibility criteria. So when I say the average cost is around that $10,000 mark, I'm going to talk to you about what that budget might look like, that we're going to budget about that $3,000 to $4,000 per employee. I can also work with employers to do a employee survey. I've worked with some that think, well, I don't really hear childcare issues. I don't think there is anything. But many times the employee is not going to come to the employer and say that I have childcare issues, because I'm going to try to figure this out on my own so that I can keep my job. So sometimes it's unknown barriers that an employer survey done by us can at least give you some of that data of how many actually would be wanting this benefit, how many would actually be eligible for this benefit, and looking at even if they need full-time or part-time care, that changes your budget as well. And then the employer is responsible for coordinating those payroll deductions once they do get this benefit. And then the best part is that United Way then takes care of the rest. So the employer is setting their budget, they're doing the payroll deduction. United Way is determining if the employee is eligible or not. So you don't have to worry about figuring out if their income falls between that threshold of the 200 and 400%. United Way does that. United Way also works with billing you monthly on the employer and employee portion, and then they make the payments to the childcare. So they're working with the childcare for all the billing purposes as well. So really it tries to take a lot of that overhead off of the employer and put it all onto United Way. That bottom statement, the employer incurs no cost unless the employees are enrolled. So like I said in the beginning, I worked with an employer who has signed on and still does not have any employees participating. They're using it as a recruitment tool. And so they don't pay anything until they might hire an employee who has children who would actually qualify and utilize this benefit. So when I talk about 200 to 400% of poverty, this is an example of those income thresholds. So for a family of 4, you're looking at them making, as a household, $66,000 to $132,000. So many times as the employer, you really don't know if there is a spouse at home or somebody else at home making an additional income. So that's where United Way will do that kind of figuring out. They know what you pay, and then they'll find out what any other income in the household is. And if they fall between that threshold, then they can qualify for this benefit. So to get started, I always work with employers to answer any questions, because there's usually a lot of questions on what this might look like, what it might impact. Excuse me. Then I work with them to determine the budget. What would this look like if you were going to do it for just a couple of employees to pilot this program? Then I work with them to determine what the eligibility criteria might look like. So are you only going to offer this to full-time employees? Are you going to offer it to only support one child out of the family? I use myself as an example. I have 4 kids. I had 3 in childcare at once all the time until they all got into school. Realistically, an employer might not fund all 3 of my children that are in childcare. They might just say, we'll support 1 so that you can end up supporting more employees this way. You might be looking at, we are only going to support children up until the age of 12, or on a case-by-case basis, in case there might be a child with some special needs that needs care beyond that 12 years old. Then they sign that employer agreement, and United Way then comes in and supports the rest. So one of the newest things that has just been released in the last year is my care share. So TriShare is looking at those employees who are eligible between the 200 and 400%. And we heard from many employers that they want to support all of their employees with this benefit. And so that's where CareShare came in. CareShare is splitting the cost only 2 ways. If the family is above that 400% of poverty, then we can't use the state of Michigan money anymore, but we can still work with United Way to support families. The employer can still pay the 1/3 of the child care cost, and now the employee is paying 2/3 of the cost. So there's not the state of Michigan involved in anymore, but it still is giving those employees that benefit of having at least 1/3 of their child care supported by their employer. United Way still steps in. They still manage the applications from the employee. They still determine the eligibility. They place them in the right spot. They still pay the child care and work through all of those pieces administratively wise. And the CareShare can have different parameters if you wanted to. So that's the bulk of TriShare. I know there's usually a lot of questions when I do these quick presentations. Here is my information. If at any point afterwards you want to call, I'm happy to answer any questions, give you information, or maybe share more about TriShare. Any questions?
Does anybody have any questions for Riley right now?
No, thank you.
Do you have any anticipation of somebody in Banalak County you can work with at this point in time?
I don't have any good leads yet. So what
Okay.
we have been doing is I'm working with other partners to, like our Great Start Collaborative. I've been working with them. I've done some presentations with their group. I've done some smaller presentations. So what we're trying to do is just get the information out so that hopefully somebody is at least intrigued enough to ask some more questions so that we can sit down and really look at it. My biggest push is I'm happy to do a survey, even if you're not ready to. So if you know of any employers who want to at least just survey their employees and find out what the need is, it's a great starting point without even having to be committed to anything. But you can find that data of what is it that my employees are needing and what do they qualify for.
Great, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you. Any
you.
further questions for Riley? Okay, seeing none, Riley, we appreciate your presentation today and all the good information you gave us. And if we have further questions, we'll reach out.
Wonderful. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. That's going to conclude presentations today. We do have one interview. We have Gail Narker here today. Gail, welcome. Come up and.
I'm always happy to speak in public.
You're not gonna Zoom us then, huh?
No, I'm not. No. Thank you so much for having me here today. I was the director at the library in Sandusky for 26 years. Left that job just because I thought it was time to have someone new and livelier than me take over. And I turned it over to 2 really lovely young women. I am still involved as a member of the Sanilac County Library Millage Board. My term is up and I would like to remain on that board if it suits the commissioners. It's a millage that started back in 1987 when financing in the area was a little more tenuous than maybe it is now. It's issued every 4 years or voted on every 4 years. Passed easily, knock on wood, every time. From the very beginning, people are very supportive of libraries in general. It's 2/10 of a mil, and I think last time it raised about maybe $375,000. That money is then spread per capita through the 8 libraries in the county. And so each library receives a portion of the millage that's passed through the county treasurer's office. And the libraries can use that money for whatever they see fit. For us, when I was at Sandusky, the amount that we received would have been our entire media budget. So it, equated with that. For some of the smaller libraries who aren't district libraries and don't issue their own millages, some of them have some risk to cutting services, closing down hours, and that we've always tried to make sure that that wouldn't happen. When it's closer to the renewal date, I think we run through 2027, the libraries produce a really nice pamphlet or bookmark that expresses, here's the amount of money that each library would possibly get. Here's the portion of their budget that it covers, and here's what they would like to use it for. So just to inform voters that it is used across the board for different things. We do have coordinated services. We have a delivery service throughout the county that's put together by our cooperative. So there are coordinating services that, sometimes this money is used for. And the women at the library or anyone in the county library is really open to answering any questions concerning this. So I've had a great career. I also have a dental hygiene degree, if you can believe that. So I was a dental hygienist for a number of years. I worked in school libraries, then got interested in dentistry and went back for my dental hygiene degree.
You must have had your patients read books and what, you're looking on them?
I did. I really missed it a lot. It was really lovely work. I liked the science end of it. Then when Harriet Eagle retired, I decided that I would put my name in the hat for the job. And I always feel sorry for people that maybe work jobs that they don't enjoy, because for 26 years, I swear I never had a day when I didn't really, really enjoy my job. It's just the best of all worlds. I'm missing a bit. The public's gotten interesting, so I think I stepped away before I said anything too bad and wiped out those 26 years of good service. It only takes one statement in the newspaper to make that all go away. So I was wise enough to retire. Plus, I knew my husband wanted to retire, and so we've had a lovely few years together doing traveling in different places at once. So, do you have any questions at all?
Any questions for Gail? No, we certainly appreciate you being here. We appreciate your service to the community.
Oh, gosh, absolutely not. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate anyone running for public office right now. I just think the world of you all for being on this board. I mean, it's just a really interesting time to be involved in all of this. And you sound like you're really receptive to, people and issues, and that makes a big difference. It's a lovely place to live. Keep trying to talk my 4 children to come back, but no one seems to be interested yet. So, all right, thank you so much.
Thank you, Gail.
I'm gonna leave. I have a garage. Once you vote, I have a garage full of things that I want to remove before my husband gets. I have a box saved for him to look at, so he feels like I didn't get rid of everything.
He won't know what's missing until he looks for it.
My best story was years ago when he hunted 2 for a week. I cleaned out the garage and I got rid of a pair of old, awful tennis shoes. I thought, no way. And so then when he went to go fishing in the summer with Rick Tank and the boys, he asked me where his lucky fishing shoes. And to this day, I have never told him that I threw them away. I said, you must have left them in Canada last night. We left them out on the farm or something. So if you see him, don't tell him that I threw them away. 20-something years ago, right?
Yeah, I hope he's not listening.
No, I've been married almost 50 years, so I'll split down.
You can always go back to the archives.
Well, that's going to conclude our interview for today. We are going to move directly into appointing the sustaining committees, and we have a 5-year term expiring 6/30/2031.
Yeah, isn't that amazing?
It's unreal. These dates, they get the best of me every time. I will entertain a motion to appoint Gail Narker to that position.
So moved.
Support.
I have a motion by Vice Chairman Ballard, support by Commissioner Lee to appoint Gail Narker to the library board for a 5-year term. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
You are appointed. Thank you.
So much. I'll enjoy every minute of it. Thank you.
Okay, we don't need any 13B or 14. There's no county chair appointments or commissioner appointments. We have no general resolutions. So we're going to end up in committee reports, and we'll start with Commissioner Ballard today.
Hey, on the 8th of June, I attended the Drug Task Force Board meeting. A real light agenda, however, we did approve the 26-27 budget. Let's see, last Friday, I went to the Michigan Works meeting. That was probably one of our longest meetings.
Yes, it was.
Ever. There was a lot of business to take care of, but I'll keep it brief here. Just the main points, we approved 13 GST Michigan Works plans that total $14,606,153. And that is included in that budget for this year or for next year, which is approximately $22 million. And we heard some partner updates from Michigan Rehabilitation Services, DHHS, Adult Ed, and the Job Corps based in Flint. That's all.
Okay, thank you, Roger. Gary?
Yep, thank you, John. Tomorrow I have a MMPC meeting in Carroll at 10:30, and I'd like to report on our last Parks Board meeting. And in that meeting, we reviewed the pavilion. The paint was chipping off at, and we're getting bids. And I think the last bid we got, we're going to go with Larry's decorating from Deckerville. And also we reviewed drainage updates, and we're going to take action on that to get some better drainage just off the road. As far as managers reports, Lexington reported that camping reservations and pavilions reservations are doing well. Forester Park, limestone was added and graded in brine. And as I already mentioned, bids for the pavilion went out, and it looks like Larry's decorating is going to be selected to do that. And I have one more. For Evergreen, Jake gave a report on a Highline update about getting a Highline in there. And that's it in my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Gary. Bill?
We had landfill recycling. We have a new foreman there, household waste event. We're working on a date for that as well, and possibly exploring doing it on site this year. So using our landfill, or not the landfill, but the recycling center as a place to have it. Nathan reported MMP grants has been extended, and we're talking about possibly looking at some signage to point the way to the recycling center. And baskets, we've got one round of baskets have been purchased, and there's another one coming. That's the ones that they found downstate that'll allow us to put our product into those baskets. And that's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Bill. Christine?
I also attended that Parks meeting, and it was at Evergreen, and they had a potluck dinner that night, and I brought my husband along, and whoever made the macaroni salad, he thought that was to die for. Yesterday I was at Council on Aging. Just a reminder, the senior fair is on Friday, June 26th at Sandusky High School, and there's free bus transportation to any senior that wants to go. June is Elder Abuse Awareness Month. And then I had CAPC meeting this morning, and they're going to be at the Thumbs Festival Kids Day. They also are going to be sponsoring with the Eva's Place, a free movie on July 11th. They're going to do their free bowling on July 25th. And then on Thursday, July 23rd, they're going to have their youth empowerment camp. They have 63 sign up for it so far. They plan on doing a bubble foam party, a magician there. Main Street is doing the catering for lunch. They're going to have archery, gaga ball, pedal carts, CMH arts activities, and a scavenger hunt. And they can take up to 100 children. And then it came out that a warning that they are sending, not our group, but people are sending veterans a postcard with a phone number saying that veteran saving program, if you call this number and you have to call within so many days, you can get, all this savings and whatever. And they're asking for their, their social security number and this and that and whatever. It's a new fraud that's going out instead of on your computers. They're sending postcards to the veterans. So if you know any veterans, give them a warning that if they get this postcard, do not respond to it. There's scammers and they're being targeted. And then I had health board meeting this morning. Ticks and Lyme disease, for the first time, Michigan is officially a high incidence jurisdiction for Lyme disease, with cases averaging over 10 per 100,000 people for 3 consecutive years. So now Michigan is known as Lyme disease and ticks. And that's what they look like. You can go and the health department said that they had 3 already that came in. They also be aware about the hot weather. Make sure you keep hydrated because of heat exhaustion and heat stroke. And it high-risk people include young children, older adults, and people with chronic medical conditions. And then fish. Michigan released 2026 Eat Safe Fish Guide. And there's a place that you can go and see what fish are safe to eat in Michigan when you go fishing. And then
It's too late. I already ate them.
Feeling all right?
If I start glowing, you know what it's from.
Yeah.
and the health department signed a contract with the old grant lady to help write grants for the health department to fix up Maple Valley School. The health department is updating their website to make it more ADA compliance. They're starting to do beach sampling. And that's all I have to report.
Thank you, Christine.
You didn't define what old meant. You didn't define what
What's the
old.
old grant lady? What is that?
That's how she calls herself. The old-
Okay, all right, just checking.
The old grant lady, yeah,
We got
no.
this old grant lady. We're gonna renew her.
That's her business card, the old grant lady.
And during elder abuse months.
Yeah.
No less.
Well, anyways,
Like the top.
she was a former superintendent or something up at USA schools, and now she's into grant writing.
We won't hold that against her then.
Yeah,
And she wants to help people get as much grant money that they can get.
there we go.
It's an interesting business name, but I guess
Well,
if it works, right?
you'll remember it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's catchy. The only thing I have to report for committee reports is there typically would have been a regularly scheduled planning commission meeting right here in BOC chambers at 3:00 today. That meeting has been canceled due to a lack of agenda items. That's all I have. John?
Last Friday night, Commissioner Ehart and I both were at the return of Corporal George Sepsi. That was pretty neat. I know it was a little rainy, but a lot of law enforcement, a lot of bikes. It was just pretty neat. I know it was rainy, but a lot of people still showed up. I wasn't able to attend the funeral this past Saturday, but I know there was a lot there also, so it was kind of neat. I didn't have any other report, except I did go to Michigan Works with Roger, but next week I have medical care and emergency management.
Good, very good. Appreciate everyone's committee reports. I see no need for unfinished business, so that's going to drop us directly into new business today. And we're going to start out with FA 086-26, approval of current claims.
San Luis County Board of Commissioners hereby approves the payment of current claims identified on the accounts payable report dated June 9th, 2026 for the general bank account in the amount of $148,328.56.
I have a motion by Finance Chairman Sarkella, supported by Vice Chairman Ballard. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Next up today is FA 087-26, budget adoptions, amendments, appropriations, and transfers.
Sandlin County Board of Commissioners hereby approves the following establishment of accounts as listed.
Support.
I have a motion by Commissioner Scarpelli, supported by Commissioner Lee. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Next up is FA 088-26, approval of additional general fund bank account checks charged to May of 2026.
Sandlin County Board of Commissioners hereby approves the payment of additional general fund bank account checks charged in May 2026 as follows. $558,947.69 in ACH payments, $1,540,706.86 checks for a total of $2,099,654.55.
Support. I have a motion by Finance Chairman Sarkella, supported by Commissioner Moody. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Next up is FA 089-26, acceptance of performance evaluation and approval of contract.
Sandlin County Board of Commissioners hereby accepts the County Administrator Controller Nathan Roski's 2025-2026 performance evaluation rated at highly effective and to approve a one-year extension of his employment agreement and further authorizes the board chairman to sign the necessary contract.
Support. I have a motion by Finance Chairman Sarkella, support by Commissioner Heberlein. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Next up is FA 090-26, authorization to post and fill IT technician position for information technology.
Sandlin County Board of Commissioners hereby authorizes the posting and filling of the IT technician position at a pay grade 7.
Support.
I have a motion by Finance Chairman Sarkella, supported by Commissioner Lee. Is there any discussion? All in favor, signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Lastly, today we have FA 091-26, and that's an authorization and award of a mini split air conditioning unit bid.
Sandlin County Board of Commissioners hereby authorize and awards Rapson and Refrigeration the bid for the mini split air unit and administrative office at a cost not to exceed $12,489, along with Cross Electric to complete the electrical for the project at a cost not to exceed $1,325 with funding from Building and Grounds.
Support. I have a motion by Commissioner Sarkella, supported by Commissioner Heberlein. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. That's going to conclude new business today. So I'm going to call for general public comments. Are there any general public comments today? Seeing none, there's no need for closed session or approval of closed session minutes. If there's nothing further to come before the Board of Commissioners, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn our meeting at 1:42.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Commissioner Lee, supported by Commissioner Moody to adjourn at 1:42. All in favor, signal by saying aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.